In this video, I'm going to show you my hacks for setting up a new office quickly and efficiently. I incorporate improved ergonomics and I save hundreds of dollars, and I will show you some technology tricks. Welcome to Dave Talks Business.
We have Dave Kramer, the founder of All Pro Web Tools.
Dave has worn many hats over the years as a small business owner.
Well, I really feel that small business is the core of the American economy. Amen.
In my last video, I showed the process of moving out of my office. The next step is to install everything in Tommie's house, as he and Zoe will be working from there while I set up the new office in Thailand. After moving my office 11 times in 11 years, I've learned a few tricks for the most efficient office setup. Now I will show you tips and tricks you can use to make your office environment more productive. I found that the typical desk and chair configuration is not really the most effective, and it can lead to repetitive strain injuries such as carpal tunnel syndrome, back problems, and more. I've also noticed that when you ask people to sit for 8 hours, it just causes lethargy and a slowing of thought and energy. Desks also create an uncomfortable environment for your team when you as a manager assume the breathing over my shoulder stance. Another problem with desks is that they are expensive. I have a much simpler solution. So this is what I do in my office, is I provide a desk that can be used both for standing or for sitting. And so I've done the research, and the optimal height for the actual desk is 44 inches to the top of the desk. And the optimal height for a chair would be a chair that can go all the way up to 3 feet. And that's going to provide for an ergonomic sitting environment, but also, as you can see, the staff are able to switch constantly throughout the day from either sitting or standing. And I find that keeps them a little bit more engaged in their work and allows them to kind of dance around at their desk sometimes or just sit still. So it gives them a lot of variety. The higher surface workspace facilitates better collaboration with a more equal eye-to-eye level discussion. This also makes it easier for both parties to see the computer screen. The cost to set up 3 workstations for me is about $200. I found that 3 linear feet of desk space is sufficiently comfortable for each employee. So you can fit 3 workers on a 9-foot section of desk. You can purchase desktops from IKEA in a variety of colors. They're about $50 for 6.5 feet. You can buy several and stick them end to end. Another route is to purchase the prefabricated kitchen countertops from a hardware store. They come in a variety of colors, and you can get them in 10 or 12 foot lengths. Just cut off the backsplash part and put that side toward the wall. This is also how I created my customer service counter in my pager and cell phone company back in 1997. You can also pick up the hardware from a hardware store, which is simply some heavy-duty shelving brackets and 1/4-inch lag screws. Don't use regular screws, they won't be strong enough. You can get brackets that are as long as 20 inches. This will be surprisingly strong. Not strong enough for your staff to stand on, but if you have employees standing on desks, you might want to check out my other video on employee discipline. Make sure you put a bracket on every stud in the wall. This should be about every 16 inches. All right, well done, Tommy, well done. The plan is to put the desk here, and we're going to find the studs in the wall. Yep. And then we're going to put the tape so we know where it is, and then we're going to put the brackets, and good to go. Plaster. Fun. Go ahead and go 42 inches off the floor. So 42 is right there. Wow, this tape does not like the wall. Look at that.
It's allergic to it.
Tommy, what did you do to these walls, man?
Nothing.
That's crazy. How can you have tape that doesn't stick to a wall?
It's the
How does that happen? I don't know what to do. Can't use tape. I've never had this problem. So what we're marking is the bottom of where the desk will be. Okay, and we'll just do it all the way down. Yeah, like that. Perfect. And then level it again. So typically there's going to be a stud on one side of the outlet or the other side. So if you start out here and then we go here, it says that the stud's on this side. So that kind of tells you where both sides of the stud are on the wall. So you can nail right in between them. So we got one here and we can do it right at that 42 level. So it looks like there used to be a window here. So that's why we have studs so close together. Typically they're going to be anywhere from 16 inches to 24 inches apart. Oh, and then there's nothing in here because this is where the window was. So what we typically do is we put one in the center, then we can kind of balance the shelf and we can make sure it all lines up and it's level. So we want to get it to that 42 mark there. And even if we're a little off, it won't matter because we're going to balance it off of this one anyway. Thank you. I do not like these walls. I think we hit some concrete or something in there. This should be strong enough to hold up the counter while we make sure we get the other ones set. So we'll just mark them, then we'll take the counter off, and then we'll drill, we'll put the brackets in, and we'll drop it, and we'll be done.
Awesome.
So these walls, tape doesn't stick to them, you can't drill through them, and they echo like crazy. Can you do this?
No, I can't. I cannot do that. That's pretty impressive, actually.
The things you learn. Where did he put the level? So you need to watch this.
Okay.
And you need to make sure it's level. Tell me when you're ready.
Okay.
You good there?
Yes.
We may have to go to the hardware store. So we're gonna hope that works. You gotta squeeze them. And squeeze the other one, the top one too. There you go. We did it. So what those did is they expand in the wall. I've learned that you have to screw everything down, tie everything up, because your staff is just not going to be paying attention to things. They're focused on what they're doing. So everything has to be as solid as possible. So I'm sure you're familiar with a power strip for your computers. But power strips are actually not a good idea. We've heard of surge protectors. That's a power strip that has some extra circuitry in it to protect your computers from things like lightning strikes. But it's not going to protect you from something that happens much more often, and that is power failures. When the electricity goes out in the building, your computer will automatically shut off. And your employees are going to lose the work that they were in the middle of at that moment. And if they're on a conference call with a customer, they're just going to disappear from the customer. So I recommend getting these. This is called an uninterruptible power supply. And the good ones run about $150 to $200. That's in comparison to the $20 you would spend on a power strip. But what's unique about these is that they have a battery inside of them that's always being charged. And whenever electricity is lost in the building, this will continue to provide electricity to your computer and your computer screen. And I also recommend plugging one into all of your networking devices like your Wi-Fi router and your cable modem or your DSL modem, whatever you're using for your internet. And so that's actually going to allow your staff to continue business as usual, even though the electricity is out in the building. They'll still be able to use the internet, they can still use a computer, their screen will stay on. And the bigger the uninterruptible power supply you purchase, the longer the computers will run. Another thing that's really neat about these is they have a USB cable that plugs into the computer. And that means that if you leave your computer on over the weekend and the electricity was to go out in the building, that this would send a signal to the computer telling it, hey, we're out of electricity, you should go ahead and shut down properly. And it will give the computer time to shut down properly off of battery power so that when you come in on Monday, you can turn your computer on and you haven't lost any, your hard drive hasn't been crashed. You will lose any programs that were open and weren't saved, but the likelihood of your computer just turning back on again is much higher when you use one of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate what happens when the power is lost. So Tommie's going to go ahead and unplug this box. And you can see it's still lit up here. It will alert you that the power is out, which is kind of nice to know in case it was just a circuit breaker and you didn't realize because the lights are still on, but the circuit breaker went out. This will beep and let you know that power has been lost. And if you get a really nice one, it'll even tell you how much more run time you have before the battery's completely depleted. So something else I've learned about employees is when they're sitting at their desk, they like to kick their feet. And when they kick their feet, they end up kicking the computer that's on the floor. Or they're kicking all the cables that you have just laying on the floor. So I highly recommend doing a professional installation so that the computers are up off the floor and all the wires and cords are out of the way so that your employees can kick their feet as much as they want and they're not going to hurt anything. Got to run that cord through it. The important thing about these is they trick you. They have 2 rows where you can plug things in, but you have to pay attention to what it says here. Right here it says battery backup. On the other side it says surge. Surge means it's not going to run on battery power. The only outlets that are actually going to save your computer on this side. So I typically put a piece of masking tape over this side so no one accidentally plugs anything in there, because the whole point of this is to keep your computer safe. If you plug into the wrong side, that's not going to happen. So these I really like because when employees come in, they always want to charge their phone. And so you've got your USBs here and you got some power outlets here in case they have an adapter that isn't USB for some reason. And it just keeps them from having to crawl under the desk every time. They can access it right here. What I've learned with everything is to get it up out of the way so your team does not kick it with their feet. So what I'm doing with the networking switch is I'm going to mount it underneath the table. So the first thing I do is I put double-sided sticky tape on it, double-sided foam tape. And then I can mount it right there. Now that's not going to hold forever, so then I use a little strap like this. It goes like that. There you go. I know it was a lot. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. I hope you enjoyed this one. And a quick shout out to my friends who watch my videos but don't leave a comment. Then they call me to tell me how much they liked the video. Tim, Root, Kate, I'm talking to you. Please leave me a comment below so YouTube knows that I'm doing a good job. It's going to help my channel grow so I can help more business owners. October 3rd is the day I will be landing in Thailand. I have no idea what I'll be doing or what will happen to me or what food I will eat. But I can tell you this, I'll catch all the action on video and I'll post it right here. So you might want to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and you'll be notified as soon as I release my next video. I hope the rest of your day is profitable. Your goal should be to have the freedom to do what you want to do, and the vehicle that's going to get you there is having your own small business. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I drop a video to teach you exactly how to do that, how to run and manage your own small business.